Veronica, Miranda,
and Ann Schnacky. Did Ann want to do an introduction?
Yeah. Oh.
So I did this piece here in the middle, and I really liked the way that Veronica and I worked together. We exchanged emails, and then we met in my studio, and I read her piece, and we talked about like the imagery, like keywords that came out. And then to me the really interesting thing was hearing from her what there were some underlying pieces that I hadn't appreciated, or that I didn't come out as strongly to me. And there was one line that she said about the contrasting the beauty of whiteness with the dirtiness of white. And I thought that I really wanted to work with that idea. So I wanted to read the materials that I used in the piece. So in this piece is an old pillar, dryer lint, hair, dust, plaster bandage, a toilet plunger, dirty bathroom rug, coal fat, which is the fat that lines the abdomen of a cow, and more thread. So I think, and that the thread came from a sewing kit that I bought at an estate sale of a woman named Juanita.
Okay, so the name of this story is The Romance of Senec's Rotten Tomb, and it's 3 sections. The first was Senec's, about an old man waiting around to die, and he dies of a heart attack. And so I'm going to be reading the second section called Rot. And I have an audio that I'll be playing just to bring out my story a little bit more than the visual. So I got the visual, the audio, and the textual here. I hope you can hear it. When all the fuses were charred and steaming, with occasional remainder sparks, buzzes, and twitches, the power went out, as if someone had pulled the keys from the ignition. Lying in place, it was hot but cooling. Degrees lifted off its skin like particles toward the ceiling and dissipated. The room air seeped into the flesh, making the body the same temperature as the bed, the phone, the door, the curtain. Blood seeped from the body's canals, trickling through the flesh and resting into the back of legs, back of arms. Body pale on top, dark on bottom. Small dark spots and dark veiny tracks drew themselves along the bottom of the corpse. Tiny blood vessels ruptured along the paled and slightly open eyes, leaving a crimson line on the exposed spheres. The body stiffened and captured the last gesture of the last thought, of the last desire, of the last fear. Inside it, like an independent underground uprising, a bacteria population, a culture rapidly growing in numbers, takes over. This culture, once a friend to the body, which was self-governing only moments ago, this culture now eats it, digests it, turns it to warm liquid and gas, softens and melts the limbs and organs, turning it into a steamy and dark yellow soup, sharp and sour, sweet smelling. The steam inflates the body like an animal balloon, pushing the soup through the ears, the nose, the mouth. Then, after stretching the skin to its limits, it tears the body open, like tearing through the seam of a garment. A high-pitched unzipping and a burst of warm gas, fluid, and odor spouts out. The gas and odor drift toward and along the walls and windows like a fog. The fluid spills to the ground, pours out, and flows to every room and rises until it becomes a pool throughout the house. Eventually, the skin slips off, first at the hands and feet, then the face, then the rest of it. It turns black, it dries, flakes, recedes, flakes, recedes, recedes to white bone, and the white bird comes out, perches on the bones, still singing its lament.